You guys requested part 2 of the Paul Unslaved interview, and it's coming at you. Stay tuned. Hey guys, before I get into today's video, here's a shout out for this video's sponsor. When the shit hits the fan and the power goes out, one of the things you're going to need is an ultra bright flashlight and a power bank to charge your devices. This is the indoor-outdoor light bug work light. It's got a solar panel to turn sunlight into storable, usable energy, or you can charge it with a regular wall outlet. The adjustable bracket allows you to hang it, hold it in your hand, or get the perfect light angle on a table. It comes in handy for car repair, fishing, hunting, and camping. And check this out. I fully charged this thing, turned it on, and left it on the counter, and it shined for over 5 hours. Grab a couple of them for family and friends. Your link is in the description. What I get concerned about is that people will watch your video where you were actually able to stand for your rights, and the cops, thankfully came along to your mindset and let you go on your way unmolested, other than the harassment and the 32-minute detainment, basically. But what I get concerned about is that viewers will look at that and go, hey, you know what? It worked for Paul. Brian put it on his channel. I'm going to try the exact same thing. And their expectation of what they want reality to be doesn't happen in reality. And if they try the exact same thing, the exact same way, and things didn't coincide, that they'll, get thrown in prison. Do you have a response to that?
Yeah, there's multiple levels of that experience, and that journey, if it's to go that way, right? So again, you have to be willing to look from the universe's eyes, cosmic sort of level of consciousness. Your meat sack, by going to jail, is not necessarily going to be the worst thing ever for you. You might think it is, and a lot of us feel like that. When you go to jail, you're going to get introduced to who you really are. So going to jail could be some of the best thing that ever happened to a lot of people out here, because they're going to learn a lot about respecting themselves, others, and what's really true and what's right. And they're also going to learn how to interact, and they're going to learn how to find true faith and trust in themselves. So that process can be a good process if you let it be. Just like any other suffering process, if you let it be, can work for you rather than against you. However, do understand that you're rolling the dice, that there is a way that this has to be done. And even if it's done that way, and it's done completely by all measure how it's supposed to be done, there's always that, again, anything worth doing is going to have that level of danger and consequence to it. But, are you willing to experience that is really the question. So I guess what you're kind of doing is you're giving the proviso for everybody that, yeah, don't go thinking that you're going to take your plates off, throw your license out, and then tell the guy, what's up, bro? I know who and what I am. I have rights. They're going to laugh at you. They're probably going to break your leg, and they're going to take you to jail. And they might be right for doing it, because, again, we do have to understand sort of the nature of how humanity's become. It's almost as if I'm now, even as they're locking me up, I'm seeing more sides of the story and realizing a lot of these people out here can't conduct themselves. You give them their birthrights and their God-given rights, and they'll walk around thinking they can do just whatever they please. That's not what this is about. So again, you're walking a fine line of conducting yourself conducting yourself in truth and what's right, morality, logic, ethics, while also saying, I'm not, live in love but take no shit, as they say, right? Is the best way to boil it down. But like you said, do it with love and compassion, but also understand there's consequences to this lifestyle. Most of the time back in the day, it was the samurai who were good warriors. The warriors who stood for truth and what's righteousness. They were the ones who had to learn the most combat and carry the biggest sword. Because when you're a man of truth and faith and righteousness, you will be tested by a lot of different elements. So, take that for what you will.
Do no harm, take no shit, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Just like I would expect of them or anybody else.
It's what I would like to convey to everybody in the chat room and whoever might listen to this video through the, in the future, is that what would you rather have? Would you rather have dangerous freedom or peaceful slavery? Because really there is no in between on that. If you want to be free, then you want to be free from all oppression, not just some oppression. And when you take those chains out, sometimes they're screwed into those shackles are screwed into your wrist, and it's going to be a painful process taking them out. So realize that there are going to be dangers. But you kind of lost me, Paul, when you said maybe the government's right in breaking your legs if you don't have a plate. What do you mean by that? You lost me on that one.
What I'm saying is, I don't mean it that way. I mean by cosmic consciousness standards. A lot of people, I see how they act to me and treat me, and I'm a pretty big dude, and I don't exactly carry myself as someone you can walk all over. And I've had maskers and vaxxers tell me, shut the fuck up, try to walk towards me like they're some kind of tough people. I see how people conduct themselves when they think that they're safe or they think they're immune from consequences in the real world, skin on skin, right?
Yeah.
Prosecutor means skin on skin. So we take a civilized approach, and we understand we want to do everything civilized. Some people sometimes they don't know nothing else other than to be taught a lesson, skin on skin. But again, am I ever advocating for violence? No. All I'm saying is that if you expect to do this work, you better be humble. You better have a large space for humility inside of yourself and forgiveness for others and yourself and trust. There's a lot that comes with this because you're going to make mistakes and they're going to make mistakes. You're going to hurt yourself. They're going to hurt you. You know, that it's just what comes with the territory, but you got to be willing to move forward in the eternal truth, you know, and that has to be the grounding and the foundation. If
Yeah.
you can't go to jail and do the time for making a mistake, this ain't for you.
I cut you off. Say that again.
I was saying, if you want to do this work and you can't go do 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 months in a jail for standing on eternal truth, then this ain't for you, because you're going to make mistakes and they're going to make mistakes. And at some point, you're going to get through it and you're going to say, you know what, that was a learning experience. That was exciting. That was interesting. It was scary and a lot of other things too, but it made me who I am today. If you're not willing to go through that, then this work ain't for you. I'll tell you right now, keep it all where you're at, do as you're told, and slave up. And then see where that'll take you. Because either way, one day you're going to get to being harmed and in a cell anyway. So they're both paths are going to lead to the same path. It's just a question of time and circumstances and whose choice it's going to be.
And I remember on that video, one of the last things you said to that cop was, hey, if we don't get together now, I mean, real quick, the Great Reset is moving in and we could be, I don't remember if you said it exactly this way, but we will both be loaded on the boxcars together. You, me, my family, your family, all of us, unless we get it right now, get our heads out of our asses and get together on who our real enemies are. And another element a lot of people do not ever consider, and it amazes me that they don't, is that it will always be dangerous to be right when the government is so wrong. And the government is wrong 100% of the time. Don't ever expect any government agent to do right. So even if you're out there and you know everything that you need to know and you're brushed up and you got it down in your heart and you crossed your T's and you dotted your I's and you made no mistakes, don't count on them not making mistakes, because that could still end you up in jail.
Let's be clear. The government is not a what or a thing, it's a who. The government is a bunch of individual human beings who come together to serve a purpose. It is initially supposed to be one purpose. It has been perverted by corporate interests and certain misunderstandings that have been lost over time by the collective process of mind and heart control. Understand that these individuals who are doing harm to you are also harming themselves. Understand that they know not what they do, right? Then you can move forward in a space of compassion and forgiveness, realizing that we are all in this together. These people, if they knew better, would do better, okay? They don't want to hate themselves and harm their fellow men and women. They've been trained and taught that that's the only way to do this business, because that's how we keep order, quote unquote. Once we instill in them and reveal to them the only true form of order is self-government based in truth, logic, morals, and ethics, they will wake up. They may never wake up. It's not our responsibility. We're not the arbiters of everyone else's path and what the outcome is. Again, outcome-based education. They taught us that we should act based on what the outcome's going to be. Absolutely not. You should do what's always true and what's right in the moment and surrender the outcome, because we are not in control of what they're going to do or what's going to happen to us. We're only in control of how we present ourselves and the truth.
Okay, guys, if you're just joining us, we are talking to It's Paul Unslaved. You see right there on the right-hand side of your screen, that is his YouTube channel. What's another way they can get in touch with you? Do you have any other social media outlets, Paul? Just YouTube or what?
I got the Facebook going.
Facebook?
Yeah, for people to kind of interact with me and see the more, I guess, candid, intimate mind of an individual like myself. But yeah, it's the Paul Unslaved. It's Paul Unslaved. If you go to facebook.com and then / you can put that in, it'll bring you to my page, because I have a sort of a name that's just been stuck there. I can't change it from a while back. But yeah, just that in the YouTube for right now. My YouTube's where I'm going to be posting all my interactions
Okay,
at this point.
so there's a lot of there's a lot of things that we talked about tonight, but what are some, so that people can get a concentrated form of the information that they need to know, so that, you know, because honestly, even within the realm that I operate in, people are, including me, are extremely ignorant on some of the topics that you covered when you were on that roadside traffic stop, when you were talking to that cop. So where are some places, or do you have something all written out and a link that we can give to people so that they can brush up on this like ASAP and go warp speed on it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to, going forward, maybe we can work on that together. But I'm gonna have to create something going forward with all the documentation laid out. Alphonse, I don't know if you're familiar with Alphonse Fajol. He's got a website out there. I don't have the link right now, but if you do a search on Alphonse, he's got some stuff. I talk with him regularly.
How do you spell his name? I'll look it up while you're talking.
Alphonse, and then should be, I think his last name is Faggia.
Is he a lawyer?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Alphonse.
Yeah. So you got
Fagiolo.
Yeah, I'm half Italian, so my understanding of that pronunciation is fagioli, like pasta fagioli.
Okay, fagioli.
You know, or pasta fagioli.
Yeah, I mean, does he have a YouTube channel as well? Because I think I found his YouTube channel.
Yeah. He should. He's an older than me guy. In his picture, he's got like a grayish hair.
Oh yeah, this is the guy that you actually had him on a live stream on your channel, right? Or is that? Oh, that's my interview with Chris Hall. Okay, so he's got one of your videos up on his YouTube channel. Does he have a YouTube channel called I Am a Free Man?
I'm not too sure what the name of his YouTube. He has my video on there.
It's the same thumbnail as you got on yours, so.
Yeah, so he probably covered my my interaction.
Okay.
So yeah, that's probably him. Yeah, I am, right? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that is him.
Okay.
Also, I'm always going to bring up Carl Lentz. He's a big inspiration for me as far as the idea of just dumbing this stuff down. Not even really dumbing it down. Stop making it so complicated so we can't understand it.
Exactly. Right? That's
so again, coming from the perspective of, instead of downing ourselves, realizing this is common sense, universal truth that can be spoken in a common way. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch of legalese. They want you to do that.
Yes.
They want you to play into the society that you're not a part of, that know nothing about, so that they can hold you liable as one of them. You're not one of them. You're a common man and woman, and we have common sense.
Totally agree. That's exactly what I want to do. So yeah, maybe we can get together and I've got a website. If you got a website or something, or we can just put links under our videos so that somebody can actually go to a link that actually has all the information in an encapsulated form, maybe no more than 1 or 2 pages, where people can actually look up the Supreme Court cases, maybe something like the Fourth Amendment, be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects, the Second Amendment. You know what amazes me about this whole thing is that the scary thing is that you can have clear language, clear, unmistakable language. For example, the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And yet you have places in this country, you would think it was a foreign country or something, in Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, where if you walk down the street with an AR-15 or even just a handgun, they would take you down and ask questions later. Even though they swore an oath before God and everybody that they would uphold, protect, and defend that Constitution for all enemies, foreign and domestic, and they become the very domestic enemies they swore they'd protect you from. So how do you begin to get into a person's mind that has that outlook?
Well, like they told me yesterday, the city in Denver has stated that you can't carry a handgun, XYZ, whatever the conditions are, without buying a permit to access your rights. So I said, so you're legislating and commercializing rights. It says we have a right to bear arms. It doesn't say over here, not over there. It says the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. So again, you tell me what a what says. The city and county of Denver is made up of, again, like the government, the people who occupy it, right? So it's another sort of deception, because how are you here representing me when I have a right and a law to bear arms? It's all done by, you know, confusion in the words and the terms, right? Nobody out here actually said we want to give up our rights. Maybe a lot of people did. They want to, under contract, they want to act as a citizen, and they want the government to take on the responsibility of keeping them safe. However, once again, the Supreme Court has ruled that the public service accommodation has no obligation to keep men and women safe. They have an obligation to protect and uphold rights and the law. So it doesn't matter even, again, this comes back to universal law. You can never truly abdicate your responsibility and your accountability and your free choice. You can never give it away. Even if you try to, it's not legitimate. You're trying to engage in a process of what you want and don't want, which is outside of what the universe has created us to experience. You know, so again, I'm never going to rely on a public servant to protect me. I'll either carry the weapon how I choose and deal with the legal consequences of that, because again, I know common sense. I'm a man. I have a right to defend myself, whatever means necessary. And I have the law, which is the Constitution, codified universal law, saying right to bear arms. Everything else is a man's belief they've written down on paper and try to apply it to me.
And remember, yeah, exactly. And the reality of our life, the horrifying reality of our life, is that there are people right now in prison for doing just that, for standing up for not only their rights, but your rights as well. The person who always tops the list in my mind is Schaefer Cox. Schaefer Cox is right now in it's called a CMU, a Communications Management Unit in Terre Haute, Indiana, where only the most hardened criminals go, and he only sees the light of day like once every 23 hours. This guy is locked in a cage for having done nothing more than trying to reveal that the politicians in his area, which was in Alaska, were involved in some pretty serious, horrible crimes, and they frame this guy and throw him in jail. And he's just one of an example of, I don't know how many untold thousands of political prisoners who are in jail just because they were doing something good.
Yeah, and that's why I say, you know, we have to, as we're doing this work, we have to remember humbleness, humility, and surrender, because, you know, you're walking a fine line there, right? These individuals can, and some of them are very willing to do harm to you. Now, by the grace of God, or just the fact that they recognize I'm not a threat, or that they connected with me on some level, all of my interactions, even the arrest, they've never really done a direct harm to my body, right? They've obviously interfered with my rights. They've ordered me into cages and things like that, which I did under duress. But again, that's what federal court is for, because you'll have to compensate me for that if, like I believe and understand, you did something outside the boundaries of what you're supposed to do. There's no hard feelings here. I don't want harm to come to any of these men. I want them to understand once and for all, this is what we're all doing here. This is what it means to be Americans. This is what it means to like yourself and feel connected to your fellow members of this country, your fellow countrymen and women, right? So again, great opportunity if they're willing to see it how I see it, if what I'm saying is based in truth, which I believe it is, and great opportunity to resurrect the Republic in the image that it was created to be.
Guys, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoy this content, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. That way we can stay in touch in case they decide to completely eradicate this channel, which I'm very close right now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to me on my private members-only upload site, highimpacttv.com, and on Odyssey and BitChute. All my links are in the description below. If you want to support this channel further, the Patreon, PayPal, Bitcoin, and Subscribestar links are also in the description. Or grab a hard-hitting, conversation-starting shirt. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored, shadow banned, 100% demonetized video.